So, Nihonme, Kumite Gata Nihonme number 2. So, the attack is Chudan, so maybe lift your guard up just slightly, so as it gives them more of a target to go for, rather than Jodan. And when you go back, take the target away, and move to the side. Yeah? Coming down the hand, grab, up, in, and lock. So, attack, and off centre, and turn, over, wrist, we'll look at this in a sec, coming in, shot, drop, and out. So again, in, off centre, turn. Because it's turned, you have this natural spring to come back. Up, tight shot, and in, empty, and lock, out. This actually is called a hand neck. So really you have 5 necks, not just one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when you take, you try and take the wrist, not the forearm or the hand, but the wrist, which means your palm will be against the back of their hand, back of their fist, so that when you come up, it's just a straight line up to the armpit. But to make it more uncomfortable for Sensei, I can turn the wrist slightly more. And bearing in mind, I'm locking him in place. So this is the anchor point. After I've hit, this is the anchor point. I'm bringing it right up underneath his armpit, and just a slight turn. It locks everything up. So if you can get used to taking the wrist, so When you come to do idori or tanto dori, then taking the wrist is becomes quite natural then. If you took the arm and they had the tanto dori, then it could come over, they could grab the other side of the blade and pull down and cut your arm. So the more you can grab the wrist, can you see Sensei Kerry's hand? It actually operates their hand to open. So if they did have tanto dori, then fine, but you can control them quite easy, especially if you're small like me and you can get underneath the lock. Okay, but don't make a dramatic thing about it. This is the taisho. Okay, but try and get used to the locks now rather than leaving it till later. Okay, so back, turn, and then come back in and turn. So to assist you, yeah, just start bending the knees and moving the hip. Let your arms come with it. Yeah, and then introduce the body, the leg movements with the body before you try and put the whole technique together. But start off with just letting the hips and the knees work together. Then moving. And then a good way to see these, if these are happening, then you can start working your way around the technique. But then they have to be a little bit more controlled.
So from Uke's point of view with this technique, the big thing is the control that's caused by the wrist lock. Sensei mentioned there is a definite twist of the wrist and the hand is taken towards the armpit. And that twist of the wrist locks the wrist, the elbow and the shoulder. So it makes it very difficult for you to try and move and counteract. At the same time, you've got after the taisho is control of the jaw. I've known Sensei in the past to start poking fingers into nerves because he's good like that. So once you've got somebody hitting the nerves and the lock, it's quite an extreme technique. You've got quite good control of Uke. The final part is the drop. You'll see it in the video. Sensei is lowering his centre and using the elbow. So you've got this upward pressure on the wrist, but you're being pushed down by the use of the elbow, which could also be used as an elbow strike as well as a control mechanism.